Well, being bullied by your big brother, big sister could be hazardous to your health, it turns out.
Yeah, and plus there are concerns about genetic testing becoming more common. Fox Medical team Dr. Joette Giovinco joins us live from Tampa. Now, we've been hearing about this genetic testing, and some people say, well, if you open it up to more people, isn't that a good thing?
You know, for the most part, it probably is, but I think that people have to be directed. I think medical geneticists are going to play a huge role in that. They're going to tell you what you should get, what you might need. But remember, when you get tested, or if you get tested and you turn out to be positive for something, now that opens the door. You have to start talking to your family. So now your family members may have to get tested, and then there's your children. So now what do you do with them? Do you start testing your children? How far does it go? But again, you know, knowledge is power, and knowing things ahead of time can be a great thing, but it can also provoke anxiety.
And a lot of controversy, or a lot of discussion over this, sparked by that Supreme Court ruling that really defined who can hold a patent on our genetic material. Basically, what the court said was, if God made it, no man may copyright it.
That's absolutely true, but they can patent something that's synthetically made to help them to test. So that's going to open the door for competition. We're hearing that the biotech industry is very happy about this. So again, more companies will be able to offer the test for any genetic disorder. It's going to bring the price down. The consumer is going to have more opportunity and more of an option. So again, I think we have to think forward and say, wow, this is going to really impact lots of us. We already saw it in play with Angelina Jolie. When she had the BRCA1 gene mutation, she opted to have that, you know, that double preventive mastectomy.
I guess whether or not I want to know if I am prone to some disease is my business. The danger is, if that test is done, it's out there now, and might my employer find out that I'm going to be very expensive to insure?
You know, there were some protections that were offered in the last administration, and then again with the Affordable Care Act. You are supposed to be protected, so you will be, they cannot deny you health insurance. However, I am hearing that life insurance might be an issue. So certainly, you know, I've been told by some people, before you get all this testing done, make sure that you've got everything in place. Hopefully that won't be true, you know, in the future. But, you know, the other thing is, what about our kids? What do we do about our children? Do we automatically go test our kids when we find out we're positive for something? And that answer is basically no, from what I'm hearing. You know, our kids are actually tested at birth for lots of things that could affect them during childhood. So it may be something that they can't metabolize, a protein, a sugar, and by testing them and discerning that, even cystic fibrosis, which has been in the news a lot lately. So those kids can be handled and cared for. But when it comes to adult diseases, or things that don't manifest until adulthood, some of the geneticists in the pediatric arena are saying, wait, don't test your child. However, if you have an adolescent, maybe you have a girl and she's a teenage girl and she knows you're BRCA gene positive, they may opt to get that test a little bit sooner, because maybe it's going to change the way they plan their life and their pregnancies and things like that.
Okay, and I know, Dr. Giovinco, that new research finds that more kids are not just picking on younger brothers and sisters, they're actually bullying them. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, that's just sibling rivalry, but they're actually saying it's bullying.
They're calling it sibling aggression, actually.
Wow.
This is out of the journal Pediatrics, and what they're saying is it can be psychological, so it can be, you know, instilling fear, making the child feel unwanted, you know, mom and dad didn't want you. It could be property damage, so maybe you're stealing or holding a stuffed animal hostage or dismembering a doll, and then it can go all the way up to physical types of behaviors, and that can escalate in adolescence. So it can be just little minor things as children, but in adolescence it can actually involve a weapon or physical harm. So what they looked at across the board, overall, all kids, they had more emotional distress secondary to these types of sibling aggression episodes. And when they looked at bullying, like outside the home, and they compared it, they said when the two were happening simultaneously, it caused even more emotional distress for the children. So bottom line, don't dismiss it. You may want to intercede and take some action.
All right, Dr. Joe, thanks, as always.